Hi, my name is Fredrik Sandblom from the NX Marketing team. Welcome to the second part and follow-up to the first part in the sketch checking tool tips and tricks. In this session, we will be presenting the best practice on how to use the tool properly. Starting with the result from the first scenario, we can see that there are quite some issues that needs attention. Now, this is a small sketch and it's not too difficult to solve from here. However, if a larger sketch, it might require quite a bit of work to sort things out for efficiently get to the desired behavior of your sketch. So now that we understand that it's easier to solve the issues at the source and as soon as possible, we will have a look at the second scenario where we will have the sketch checking tool toggled on and continuously correct our sketch as we go. We start by deleting all the curves from our first scenario. Just like in the first scenario, we then begin including the 2 points for the inlet and outlet of the oil channel defined in an already existing sketch. We continue by creating the circle for the inlet. We immediately now see the visual issue tag and the issue in the issues column of the sketch navigator, as there is a sketch relations mismatch here. Hovering the issues tag in the graphical window reveals what issue it is. Here it is an almost concentric issue, meaning that the center point of the circle is almost the same as the center point for the inlet of the oil channel. Right mouse button click on the issue tag shows that we have 3 options to handle the issue. We can correct the issue directly. We can ignore the issue. This option will be remembered and the issue will not be reported again. There are situations where you might want to ignore an issue, such as where you might be using sketch reference curves to base final curves on top of. Note that you can reset the ignored sketch relations for the sketch checking tool in the checking settings. Finally, you can deactivate the specific check altogether. Note that you can reactivate the check again in the checking settings if required. You can also in more detail have a look at the issues in the issues column in the sketch navigator, where you can expand and assess the participating entities in the identified sketch relations issues. Here we select to correct the issue by selecting the correct issue option from the visual tag. We now continue by copying the circle from the inlet to the outlet. We again immediately see the visual issue tag as we missed to make it properly concentric. To speed things up where we are really clear on the issue, you can simply double click on the visual tag to correct the issue. So here we simply just double click the visual tag and correct the issue. We move on to create the center line and immediately find out that the line created have several issues. We note that the almost connected issue will correct the line to align with the 2 existing points as endpoints. As the line is supposed to be a reference line, we make it a reference line. We're closing into that slot definition and continue by creating the upper connecting line. We see that the almost tangent issue can help resolve the sketch relations issue, and we simply double click the option to accept the specific sketch relation. The follow-up issue is an almost point on curve issue, and we continue by accepting the solution for that issue. The same goes for the other side. We simply double click the issue tag to accept the solution. The final line to be added is the connecting line at the bottom of the slot. The relations issues here are pretty much the same as at the top, but as the line is a bit off angular wise, we also use the almost parallel issue to rectify the sketch. We finalize the shape by trimming the axis of the circles so that the slot is formed. To fully define the definition of the sketch, we add a width dimension to the slot. As a final check, we open the curves column in the sketch navigator, where we can see that all the entities of the sketch are now fully defined. As a final remark, I should also highlight that in addition to the sketch checker suggestions to solutions, you can also manually add sketch relations, and the sketch checker will continuously update and adapt to the new situation. To summarize what we have seen in this tips and tricks session of the new sketch checking tool, you have seen that the sketch checking tool is a great new addition to help the user easily ensure that the sketch created is fully defined for an optimal downstream behavior. You have seen that the sketch checking tool is available while in the sketch task environment. You have seen that the sketch checking settings can be modified to best fit the specific needs. You have seen that the sketch checker is highly recommended to keep toggled on and active while creating sketches, and where the focus is to eliminate the potential issues early at the source and while they are few and easy to sort, rather than when the sketch is finished and when the issues might be many more and require quite some effort to sort. You have seen that the sketch checker produces issues that are represented as visual tags in the graphical screen, as well as issues in the issues column of the sketch navigator. You have seen that the issues can be addressed by either using the correct option with the suggested solution, ignore the issue, or deactivate the specific check from further use by the sketch checker. You have seen that the ignored or deactivated issues can be turned back on under the settings option. This concludes this tips and tricks session on the basics of the sketch checking tool. And with that final statement, I would like to humbly thank you for your time and attention.